Yo, 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 what is going on, team? Welcome to tonight's isolation session market breakdown for October the 17th, 2024. Hope you guys had a great day today. I hope you guys had a great trading day today as well. Hope you guys, continue to have a good trading week going into tomorrow with the last day of the week. Again, for the new people who are gonna come in and start watching us, for the people who are watching the recording, this is the session that we just go over our charts. We go over the daily time frame, look at where we're at, go over the 4-hour time frame, look at where we're at in the 4-hour time frame, and go over the 30-minute time frame, update our 30-minute highs, 30-minute lows, talk about the moves that happened today and what we could be expecting going into tomorrow's trading session. Again, this session, we rarely take a trade in this session. Again, for me personally, I take a trade only during the end of London going into the NYC session. I start my trading at 6 a.m. Eastern time and I finish at 10:30, 11 a.m. depending on how the markets are moving. So yeah, we're just gonna give everybody another 3 minutes here. I'll start at exactly the 5-minute mark on the stream. If you guys have any questions, anything you guys wanna ask, any pairs in specific you guys want me to go over, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. Again, the pairs that we're going to go over are the ones you see with the red folder next to their names, starting off with AU, finishing off with US oil. We'll be going over AUDUSD, Euro AUD, EURCAD, Euro USD, GBP AUD, GBP CAD, GJ, GU, US30, USD CAD, USD ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, and oil. But again, if you guys have any questions about any other pair, whether or not they're on our list, just let me know. We'll do a quick breakdown on it. I'll give you guys my ideas, my opinions, and we'll end it there, guys. This session today, this is the last isolation session. This is the last market breakdown session for this week. Again, tomorrow, Friday, the only session we'll have tomorrow is the live trading session in the morning. So once again, any questions, just let me know. Anything that's not making any sense, anything you guys want me to explain again, any reasonings that I give that aren't really, if they're not clear, if you don't think it's clear, just let me know. I'll try to clear it up for you guys the best I can. Again, just gonna give everybody another minute and a half here, and we'll get started. Let's put some music in the background. What do you guys think? Do something, right? You could do some like little Halloween stuff. How does that sound on the stream? Let me see. Let me test it out. Test. Probably lower it just a little bit. That would be good. What do I have it at right now? 27.6. Let's put it at 20. That should be good. Alright guys, so let's get started. Once again, any questions, let me know. Any explanations you guys want me to go over again, just let me know. So starting off with AU. And once again, before we start, this session is going to be pretty quick. Again, this is the last session for the isolation session. Usually I don't really take trades on Friday either. So unless something is crystal clear, I might not even do any crazy explanations again, unless you guys want me to and you have the questions, then by all means go for it, ask the questions. So AU, we know we are in A2, we're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the bottom, right? So we know right now market structure, we still haven't broken the highs, we still haven't broken the lows. Price is just testing highs, testing lows, testing highs, going back to the middle, going back up to the top of the zone of consolidation, but just again testing, right? going back down to the lows, testing the lows, going back to the highs, going back down to the lows, going back to the highs, back to the lows, back to the highs, still with no break of structures, right? So we know that in the daily time frame, we're trading between this daily high up here, this lower high, since we never had the break of structure, and this lower low, since price never reached and gave us a break of these lows, right? So we're at a point too where we just start zooming in a little bit. We can see how price still internally is giving us higher highs and higher lows, and we start seeing that in the 4-hour time frame. Right, in the 4-hour time frame, what is price doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, to where we're at now in this higher low, right? But again, this is a pair that overall in the daily time frame, I'm looking for that third push to the bottom. I'm looking for overall movement back down all the way to the bottom of the zone of consolidation. However, right, once we go down into the 30-minute time frame, what do we have? Right, there's two things I want to call out on this pair, right? So the number one thing I want to say is we had 2 weeks of drop, this week being the 3rd week, right? Price opened this week with a gap, left the gap at the top, reset the trend, and just continued to the bottom, which is perfect. Now, on Friday, could we be expecting price to move, 30, 40, 50 pips back to the top and finish this week possibly on a drop no net? We'll have to wait for that. Now, I don't think that's what price is going to do based on how many pips price moved today. However, could it happen that we continue to push to the top side? It could happen, there's no doubt. However, again, we understand that we're still trading between lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And then today price gave us a change of character, higher high, right? So we know that we're now trading between this break, right? This break gave us this low and this 30-minute high up here. So in the 30-minute time frame, we know we had 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, market must consolidate or give us a push to the top side, right? After 3 days of drop, market must chop, move sideways, or push up to the top side, and it gave us that push to the top side. Perfect, right? Again, at this moment, for me to consider taking AU trades, I need to see this gap being filled. If I don't get that gap being filled by the end of this week, well, pretty much by tomorrow's trading session, then next week I'll be looking for the same thing, right? Before I could take a trade on this pair, I need to see this gap being filled. Once this gap is filled, then I'll start taking my trades again, right? Until then, I'm sitting out on AU, but structure is looking good for this one still. All right, that's a good thing with AU is that structurally it's always gonna look good, always. However, that doesn't always mean you could take a trade, right? You don't want to get faked out. You don't want to get induced into positions thinking that price is going to give you, a break and then to continue. You have to continue to follow the price action of AU. So going on to the next one, EA. We know we are in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. And EA is looking good. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. This would be our safety trade. This is where we would want to start looking for trades to continue that push to the top side. However, we understand that EA, we were at the top of the zone of consolidation here, right? Price rejected here, price then came here and rejected over here, right? So once we saw price reject, what did price do? It gave us a lower low, lower high, lower low, to where we're at now, lower high, right? So we have 2 weeks of counter drop. This week being the 3rd week, price gave us a nice weekly low and then gave us that push to the top side. In the 4-hour time frame, when we look at that structure, you can see that. Right, we went from higher highs, higher lows to then lower low, lower high, lower low to where we're at here in the lower high. Right, we had a weaker rise. We were expecting, well, we weren't expecting, but we were looking to see if price wanted to give us a continuation, right? If it wanted to give us this week another push to the top side, if it wanted to give us a break of structure for the next week to start looking for these trades. However, what did price do? Very similar to to AU, right? We had a gap that reset the trend at the beginning of the week, which we will see here in the 30-minute time frame, which is what we were looking for price to fill before we could continue, right? So this goes into what we were talking about yesterday, right, in last night's session. Even though we have 2 days of rise, even though we're in an overall uptrend, why am I not looking for this 372? Because we understand that there's a gap at the bottom of the market, right? So whenever there's a gap going counter of what you're looking for example, if there's a gap at the bottom of the market and you're looking for longs, you almost always want to make sure that before you get into a position that price covers the gap first and then goes into the direction that you're looking for, right? And in this case, we understand that also in order for us to really look for high probable trades, we wanted to see the change of character, we wanted to see the break of structure and a pullback, right? So now that we got the pullback, could we be expecting price to start giving us the uptrend pushes? It could happen, 1000%. There's no doubt about it, right? So let's start getting this ready, right? So we have a day of drop, which was today. We still know we're trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows, right? And let's also start well, I'm gonna do this weekend with you guys as well on Sunday on our Sunday session. I'm going to update our charts so it's not as messy as it is right now, because I have a lot drawn on my charts. So on Sunday we're gonna reset our charts, and we're not fully reset, but we're gonna take out the drawings and start fresh, so we're all on the same page. So what I want to see on EA now, I want to see an engulfing candle. Do we have any engulfing candles? Got the red, green. Oh, that's not a valid. Green, red. Bearish engulfing here at the top of the zone. That's not good. Red, green, but it's not valid. Second red candle didn't close below the first. Then we have no engulfing candles here, no engulfing candles here, no engulfing candles here in the 30, no engulfing candles here in the 30. Okay. So no engulfing candles. Right now we gotta just wait it out just a little bit. Let's go down to a lower time frame real quick. What do we have? We have lower low, lower high, lower low. We're still trading between this 5-minute low and this 5-minute high, and in the 1-minute time frame, just because I want to see structure in every single time frame. Still the same thing. Lower low, lower high, lower low. So right now EA doesn't even have an internal shift the way we want to see it. So still waiting it out, still looking good. We'll be looking for those long positions. Either, well, we'll look for them tomorrow, but this looks like it'll be set up for us for next week. So next week we'll keep an eye on EA. EURCAD daily time frame. We know that we are in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side, right? And we're in a situation where we're at the top of the zone of consolidation, and price is just moving sideways, as we can see here in the lower time frame, right? Price has been rejecting highs, going back down, rejecting highs, going back down, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, right? So again, EURCAD is in one of those situations where we have a gap, as we can see, at the bottom of the market once again. So I'm not going to be looking for positions right here at these bottoms, thinking that price is going to give us a turnaround, right? A little turnaround here to go long when we know that there's a gap here at the bottom, right? We had 2 days of drop. Price today gave us a 3rd-day low, and we ended up the day on a no net, right? So could we expect price tomorrow to just continue that trend? It could happen. Since this is an uptrend pair, I'm not going to put drop no net. I'm just going to put a no net, right? We know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're trading between this lower low over here and this lower high over here. So EURCAD again, right now, I'm not going to be looking for any positions. EURCAD, I want to see that pullback back down to these 30-minute lows to cover this gap down here that's at the bottom of the structure over here. And then I'll start looking for positions once again. Until then, I'm cool. I'm not going to enter any of these positions. EU. Daily time frame. We saw how that in 30-minute, we're still making lower lows, lower highs. So 30-minute time frame. We know we're still, again, in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side, right? We know that price gave us rejection of the highs, rejection low, reject highs, reject the lows, right? Technically speaking. Wait, let's take a step back. Sorry. We had this break, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price came back down and gave us a lower low, right? But in this high and this low, we can see now this is where price started rejecting the highs and the lows, right? So we know we had 3 months of rise, the last month being the 3rd month, gave us a rise no net. Now, were we expecting this month for price to continue to push to the top side? Wasn't something that we were expecting, but it was something that could have been on our watch list, right? But again, as I say every single time, right, at the top of the zone of consolidation, before I could look for continuation, I need to see that break of structure, right? If price doesn't give us a break of structure at the top of the zone of consolidation, and ends up just rejecting these highs once again, the same way we did 5 different times, right? Then we know price is just going to continue to push down to the bottom. And that's exactly what price did, right? Moving counter. So this is where the 4 hour, we can see how that's happening, right? We ended up having 2 weeks of drop, this week being the 3rd week. Price gave us that 3rd weekly low and just continued that push to the bottom, right? We also know that in the beginning of this week we did have a gap in the market, but price already filled that gap up. As soon as it filled it, it went right back down to the bottom and continued the lower low and the lower high, which we could see here. Price then gave us lower low, lower high, lower low. So we know that we're trading now between this lower low over here and this lower high over here. And at this point we have 4 days of price pushing down. Do we have a reason for that? Do we have a gap? Yep. Right, so we have 4 days of price just pushing down, 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 down. So right now there's no positions on EU just yet. Remember, before I could look for a trade, I need to see that change of character. I need to see that break of structure. You know, do we have any points of interest here that I'm interested in looking at? So this is the reason why I want to kind of update my charts, especially the 4 hour on this pair. I don't like the way I had this marked. For some reason I was looking at it this morning and I'm like, man, this does not look good at all. I need to do a full reset of market structure here on the 4 hour. There's something that I did wrong, but I'm not gonna get into that today. We'll do this again. We'll do this on Sunday. But right now it's not that big of a deal, right? Right now in structure, when we're looking at the 4 hour, we can see that we went from making higher highs and higher lows to then price making lower lows and lower highs, right? So before we can enter a trade, again, we need to see a change of character. We need to see a break of structure. You know, we need to see a rejection of the lows to then continue to push to the top side. We need something, right? We need some type of confirmation that's going to let us know where price is going to go next, right? And again, with my rules, I don't trade against the overall trend. So once again, the daily time frame, we're up, I'm only looking for buys. If the daily time frame is down, I'm only looking for sells, right? So in this case, EU, we know we are in V1 once again, looking for that second push to the top side. So these shorts, just letting them go. This is all a pullback in the market. Once price is done giving us a pullback, that's when I'll start entering to go back long. GA daily time frame, we are in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push back to the top side, right? And again, very similar to the other pairs, we're still trading between this higher high and this higher low down here, right? And we can see that price in the zone of consolidation has just been rejecting highs, rejecting lows the entire time, right? Rejecting highs, rejecting lows, going back down to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the low, right? Going into the 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour structure, what is price doing, right? We went from making higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And now we're stuck in this range where are we going to make a higher low? Is price going to continue to then give us the push? And we know that, you see, there's so much drawn here. This is going to give me a headache. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. So much drawn. Right, okay. So in the 4 hour time frame, we had a week of rise last week. This week, price opened with a gap. So again, it reset the trend and it gave us a gap at the bottom of the market. It didn't close it. It just stayed there. So when we look at these gaps, right, in the 30-minute time frame, we know that we had a change of character, pullback, higher low, break of structure, higher high. Now, why do I not like this change of character, break of structure? The only reason this is not a valid change of character, break of structure is because of this gap. It resets the trend, right? So it goes back to what we were talking about on the other pair on EA. Why didn't this 372, why didn't this 4th day variation to the top side work out? There's a few reasons, right? Reason number 1, we could sit here and say, well, the pullback at the end of the day was way too much, right? It was too steep of a pullback to continue, which is true, right? But reason number 2, we have that gap in the market. So again, this is another pair where at this moment in time, I cannot be looking for trades until we fill this gap up. Once we fill this gap up, that's when I'll start looking to take a trade, right? So GA again is another one of those pairs where right now I'm just sitting on my hands on. I'm not actively trading it. I have to see price fill this gap up before we could continue to see price push up to the top side. So GA, I'm just gonna take it easy on that one. Just gonna sit on my hands, and that's pretty much been the common theme here for a lot of these pairs in the last couple weeks. So for GCAD, we're in V1, right? We've already exited V1. We broke away from the zone of consolidation with the break of structure, and we can see that price just continued, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, to where we're at now in this higher high. So going into the 4-hour time frame, we're gonna see that, right? We can see higher high, higher low. Price broke over here, gave us a higher high. So we know that we're trading between this 4-hour high and this 4-hour low. We also know that we had a week of rise last week. This week, wanted to see price give us that second week of rise to then continue to see that push going into next week to go even higher. However, price started going down and gave us a pullback. And in this case, price ended up giving us a change of character, lower low, lower high, lower low break of structure, and right now we're in that lower high. So this is going to be a situation where we're either going to wait to see price break to then continue, or we're going to see price reject these highs and then continue going short, right? But we have to wait for that market structure to play out, and we still know again that we're trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows. So right now for GCAD, this is the first pair for right now that looks the best. The only thing that doesn't look good about GCAD is where we're at in the overall market, right? We're in the higher high, we're in the highest point in the market. We still really haven't gotten a steep pullback on this pair, so would love to see a steeper pullback happen on GCAD in the daily time frame before I could take a trade. But again, either way, before I could take a trade going long, I need to start seeing higher highs and higher lows, and we're still in these lower lows and lower highs. So GCAD is still going to be one that I'm not going to be actively looking for trades until price starts giving us those pushes back to the top side. See what I mean? It looks like I'm in a fucking at a Christmas party with all these colors and all these markings on my screen, but it's all good. GJ, right? GJ, we're in peak high territory. We're the highest point in the market. In the daily time frame, we're still trading between this higher high, higher low, higher high, and higher low down here. However, once we go into the 4-hour time frame, we can see that the 4-hour time frame, we're still trading between lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price pushed up and gave us this lower high over here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna delete a lot of these things here. Hold on. Okay. So again, daily time frame, we know that we're still trading between higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. 4-hour time frame, we know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and price gave us all this push to the top side into the lower high, right? And we can see that in the 4-hour time frame, look how many times price has rejected these highs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we're right back here again. Now, does that mean that price, oh, we're gonna start looking for sells now because price is rejecting these highs? No. Remember, we're still in peak high territory. We're still in an uptrend pattern, right? Remember that price right now is in a range where we're just moving sideways, right? We've been doing that since the 7th of October, right? Since 10 days ago now. So with that being said, again, we had 2 days of drop. Today being the 3rd day, did price give us a 3rd day low? Yes. It gave us a little tap of the 3rd day low and then ended up giving us a day of rise. But again, I'm not going to mark this as a drop rise because this is a pair that's in an overall uptrend. So I'm only going to mark this as a day of rise. I'm not expecting price to give me a 4th day variation where we start looking for shorts again. But right now, I'm not actively looking for trades on GJ. Again, why? We're in a position where we're in a place of rejections, right? We're in a zone where price has been rejecting for many weeks, right? For many days. With that being said, the only time I'll start looking for trades on GJ is when price gives us the break to then continue, right, to reach these 4-hour highs up here. Or if price gives us the same thing we had, right? If price gives us a rejection, we'll start looking for sells every single time, right? So with that being said, GJ right now, again, is not one that I'm actively going to be trading or pretty much keeping an eye on, but we will update this tomorrow morning as well once we get on the charts for the live trading session. We'll update it on Sunday. So GU, we are in V1. We're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side, right? We know that we finally broke above the zone of consolidation, gave us a break of structure, gave us a retest to continue to the top side, right? That also completed the third month push that we were looking for, and then price started giving us a push down to the bottom, giving us the pullback. Now, where am I expecting the pullback and why? Well, let's start with the EMAs, right? We know that in level 2, which is where we're at now in the overall market makers pattern, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. Perfect. Do we see the 200 EMA? Yes, the white line is the 200 EMA. Could we expect price to give us a pullback in this area and then turn back around and continue the uptrend push? Absolutely. Reason number 2 why I'm looking for that. The break of structure in the daily time frame. Where did it happen? It happened here. Right? What was the last red candle? What was the previous higher low before the higher high was made? It was down here. So not only are we getting a pullback to the 200 EMA, but we're also getting a pullback on the previous higher low. That's pretty picture perfect if you ask me, right? We know that in the 4-hour time frame, what are we doing? Higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price now this week gave us a lower low, right? A little lower low change of character, nothing too crazy. We're still waiting for price to turn around and let us know where price is gonna start going long, right? We know we have 2 weeks of drop, this week being the third week. Price gave us a third week low. Perfect. Now we start looking, where are we in this third week low? We had a day of drop yesterday, and today price ended up giving us a little day of rise, which is good. We're getting a little pullback. Now, does this mean because we have a pullback, oh, I'm starting to look for longs? No. Before I could take a trade on this pair, I need to see higher highs and higher lows. It's that simple. It's that simple. All right, so we know we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a change of character higher high. Why did I delete that? Right, change of character higher high, which gave us this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows down here. Right, let's update our 4-hour lows as well. We know that we're trading between this 4-hour low over here. We need to update anything else in the daily? No. Right, so once again, GU is looking good. Right, it's looking like it wants to start setting up, but again, I'm only going to start looking for is when price gives us a break of structure. If it gives us the break, then I'll start looking for trades. Or if price gets down to these lows and rejects these lows, then I'll start looking for price to continue. It's the only 2 options that I have for GU right now. But again, GU, I am expecting price to continue that downtrend push. I am expecting a steeper pullback, so I'm not really expecting those buys to be valid as of yet. US30, let me go ahead and delete some of the drawings here as well, guys, so it's not too crazy. So US30, we know we're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market, right? As you can see that I have it drawn here, daily time frame, we're in the highest high, we're in the highest point in the market. In the 4-hour time frame, we're at the higher high, we're at the highest point in the 4-hour time frame as well. We know that we're making higher high, higher low, and we're still making a higher high. I can't mark this as higher high, higher low, higher high, even though we can technically speaking, we could say that. Right? Could we say that this is a significant pullback to continue? This is a 23.6% pullback. Technically it is, right? So I'm gonna mark it that way for market structure reasonings and market structure purposes, and we'll talk about it on Sunday as well. I gotta mute this. I'm not gonna lie, that those beats are kind of pissing me off. I don't know why. Last red candle before the push to the top side. The lowest candle is this green wick, and I'm gonna use the body of this red candle. Perfect. So we know that we're trading between this higher high, higher low, and higher high. In the daily time frame, we still don't have a set high just yet. Price is still pushing to the top, so I'm just gonna keep this here for now. And in the 30-minute time frame, we're making higher high. Right, at one point we were higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price went down and gave us a little change of character, lower low. Right, gave us rejections of the lows and then started the push to the top side and gave us another higher high. So we know that we're trading now between this 30-minute low down here and these 30-minute highs over here. I'm going to use this entire zone. We have 2 days of rise. Perfect. Again, US30 is not a trade, is not a pair that I'm going to be actively looking for. We talk about this pair every single day. For the people who've been in the Discord as well, in the Discord channel when I'm there in the morning, and you guys have seen the explanations and the reasonings why we're not taking these trades, right? Specifically today, we've seen so many times today where we could have been faked out, and just could, if you're not paying attention to the rules, it could have been faked out, right? Which is why it's so crucial to understand the reasons as to why you need to pay attention to what's going on in the market. It's so easy to get faked out on a pair like US30. It's very easy to get faked out on a pair like gold, right? Very similar on the Forex side. It's very easy to get faked out on a pair like GBPJPY. But the reasons why is because those are very big pairs. We're talking about pairs that do more than 150 pips per day, right? GJ is one that does over 200 pips per day. US30 does 421 pips per day on average, right? Gold does another 400, 500 pips per day as well, right? So those are pairs that, again, if you're not 100% certain on your rules and what you're trading, you shouldn't be trading these pairs, right? So US30 is, again, another one of those pairs on our list right now that I'm just not actively trading. I'm not actively trading US30. USDCAD, we know we're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. Very similar to GBPUSD, right? I would and also EURCAD, right? I want to see a break finally of these highs. If I do not get a break of these highs, I am not looking for a trade. It's that simple, guys. Again, look how many times price has rejected these highs. Rejected the highs once, went back down to the bottom. Rejected the highs twice, went right back down to the bottom. Rejected the highs 3 times, went back down to the bottom. Rejected the highs 4 times, went to the middle and just consolidated. Rejected the highs 5 times, went right back down to the middle. Rejected and then went right back to the top. So again, I am not going to be looking for buys in a position where we know price has been rejecting many times before. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, I'm not going to do it. 4-hour time frame, we know we have 2 weeks of rise. This week being the third week. Price gave us, as soon as the market opened this week, it just went straight up to the top side, and we'll see that here, right? Price still hasn't really given us a pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days where price has been pushing up with no pullbacks, right? And then we finally had 2 days of drop. Today being the third day, price gave us a new low, rejected the lows, bounced off our 30-minute lows, and just continued to push to the top side for today. So once again, it's not what I want to see. All right, it's not what I want to see. I want to see a steeper pullback on USDCAD. We know that we're still trading between the previous higher high, higher low, and higher high. So when we're looking at structure, it's still looking good, right? But again, the people who are asking the question, well, if structure looks good, why aren't you taking a trade? It's very simple, right? When we're trading markets that are being manipulated as much as the markets are being manipulated now this year, especially these next upcoming weeks, why am I going to enter a trade understanding that there's a 90% chance that I'm just being induced into a trade to then get manipulated out of it? There's just no reason for me to take a trade there, right? There's a million other pairs to look at that look 100% better, and we know that we could take those trades and we'll be good. But taking a trade on USDCAD, I take this trade and I'm gonna have to be babysitting it, right? I take a trade on US30, I take a trade on gold, I take a trade on GBPJPY right now where the market condition is at, right? I know that I have to babysit a trade, so I'm not gonna do that. I don't like doing it. For those guys who've been watching us for now a year, it's about to be a year now that we've been doing these streams every single day. You guys see how I trade. I'm very systematic with my trades. I'm very picky with my trades, and the losses are very minimum. We're talking about very minimum, right? So understanding the portion of the game where I would rather just preserve my capital, and then when my entry is present, that's when I attack the market. It's very pivotal. All right, that's the word I'm looking for. It's very pivotal. So let's keep going. USDZAR is gonna be a very quick session, right? I said this yesterday too. I'm like, I bet tomorrow is just gonna be one of those days where the session is just gonna go by quickly because there's nothing going on in the markets right now that look enticing for me to start trading. Right, USDZAR, we're in V2, very similar market structure to USDCAD. Only difference is USDCAD is still at the top consolidating, while USDZAR is at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. So USDZAR looks 10 times better than USDCAD. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation in an uptrend. We know we're looking for those safety trades at the bottom of the zone consolidation. We could see structure is still making lower lows and lower highs. We had 2 months of drop. This month being the third month, price didn't go down and give us a new low yet, right? It gave us a rejection instead and then started to push to the top side. However, we go to the 4-hour time frame where we can see that, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price is now pushing up into the lower high, which is where we're at right now. So again, is this a pair where we're trading lower lows and lower highs still? Yes. So could I be looking for buys at this moment? Not yet, right? Yeah, we could still see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, rejections of the lows, higher high, higher low, retest to continue. But right now I need to see that higher time frame flip. Without that higher time frame flip, without this 4-hour flip, again, in the 4-hour we're making high, low, lower high, lower low, right? So we know that we're trading between this lower high and this lower low. Could this be where price is just giving us a lower high to continue going short? Absolutely. But how does that look in the 30-minute time? In the 30-minute time frame, if you're not looking at the higher time frame confirmations, you're thinking, oh my, let's get in on another buy. We're just going to continue to make higher highs and higher lows, right? When realistically speaking, again, we've reached a lower high point and this is where price could just turn around and continue to push down to the bottom. So understanding the higher time frame confluence and connecting it down to the lower time frame confluence just opens up your eyes to, oh, okay, I understand why I could be in a trap zone, right? I understand why I'm getting trapped out of trades. I understand why I keep getting into positions and then I'm thinking that price is going up but it's really going down, or vice versa, right? And this is the reasons why that's happening. So this market, we know we're trading between this 30-minute higher low. We know we're trading between this 30-minute higher high at the top side. And once again, I have a lot of things drawn here, but I'm not gonna entertain them today. We'll do this again on Sunday. I'll take the time on Sunday with you guys to update the charts, start pretty much fresh and start from there. Sorry, I just got a yawn. Muhammad, what's good, my brother? Good evening, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better, man. So USDZR, once again, I'm looking for that 4-hour flip before anything else. If I don't get that 4-hour break of structure, change of character to the top side, I'm not going to be trading it, right? So we'll wait it out. We still have a little bit to go on USDZR. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. We're pretty much at the end of the list. So far, no trades for me going into tomorrow, but again, that's nothing out of the ordinary. Usually Fridays, I don't even take trades, so I'm not surprised. There's reasons why I have those rules in my notebook, right? Fridays I don't usually trade. There's usually no trades on Friday anyway. So again, if we wake up tomorrow, when we wake up tomorrow, we're gonna wake up tomorrow. When we wake up tomorrow, we'll look at the charts, and if there's any positions to take, then we'll take them. No problem. We'll see them. We'll see how the market is progressing in the morning. But as of right now, I don't see anything that's too enticing. Right, we're in the highest point in the market on gold. We're in a higher high. Again, I can't be looking for buys in a position where we're in the highest point in the market. It doesn't make any sense, right? So right now, price again just continues to push onto the top side. There's no pullbacks really been given. Price is just moving. Price these last couple months, if it says it's gonna move, it's gonna move. There's no I'm gonna wait for you. There's none of that. We know we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and then today price gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, and then gave us a break of structure, higher high. So we know that we're trading now between this 30-minute low over here. We know that we're trading between this 30-minute high over here. 4-hour time frame. Well, let's update this real quick. Right, we had another day of rise. Yeah, nothing too crazy, man. I'm not even gonna do a full breakdown on this. There's no point. We're not gonna be actively trading this, right? In the 4-hour, we know we have a new higher high and higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, and price gave us a break of structure, higher high over here. So we know that we are trading between this 4-hour low over here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Trading between here to here, and here. So as of right now, we're just waiting it out. And in the daily time frame, we're again in the highest point in the market. So gold will wait this one out. As soon as it starts giving us that change of character break of structure to the bottom, then I'll start taking trades. If not, then so be it, man. It is what it is. We'll wait for next week and we'll start looking for positions again. Bitcoin market doesn't close for another 20 minutes, but we'll update this real quick. Let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings as well. It's looking messy, man. I'm telling you, that's the first thing we're gonna do on Sunday before we even start looking at the actual charts. We're just gonna we'll probably just do it all at the same time. I'll see. That's most likely what I'll probably just do them all at the same time. No, I need to see the 20 candle. 20 candles. This red one gave us another day of rise yesterday. Beautiful. After 3 days of rise, market was chop or drop, and we can see that the market is going down. So looking good. Just following market structure exactly how it needs to be. 30-minute highs and lows. We had high, low, high, inducement, then high, higher low, higher high. Alright, we know that we're trading now between this 30-minute low over here. Right, I don't want to get confused, right? Higher high, this high is here. Right. Oh. The break between there and there, this is the lowest candle, okay. Alright, so we're trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs over here. The last green candle before the push down is this one over here. 4-hour time frame, we know that we're still making higher highs and higher lows. Right, well, sorry, in the 4-hour time frame, we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. But price internally is giving us the higher highs and the higher lows that we want to see, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We also have a weaker rise last week. This week, price gave us 2 weeks of rise. So next week, we already know we're expecting price to continue that uptrend push on Bitcoin. So it's looking good. We'll continue to monitor it. And last but not least, guys, oil. Again, any questions before we go off, let me know. I know today was a pretty quick session. Again, not too much really going on in the markets, guys. I can't really, there's no other way to put it, right? We gotta wait for these pairs to kind of shapen up just a little bit more, give us a little bit more confirmation of what it wants to do before we could really dive deep into getting positions, right? So US oil, we know we're in A1, we're in the first zone of consolidation, looking for that second push to the bottom, right? We know we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. We had 6 months of price pushing down to the bottom. In the 4-hour time frame, we have 2 weeks of counter rise. This week being the third week is going counter, so I'm not expecting price to continue, and it ended up going down, right? With that being said, we also understand that in these highs, what did price give us? It gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, change of character, lower low, lower high, break of structure, lower low. Also gave us those 2 days of rise, and this was the trade that was taken yesterday for that 372 to go back down to the bottom, right? So price yesterday ended up giving us a day of drop, and then today ended up giving us a day of no net. And once again, after 3 days of drop, market must chop, meaning market must go sideways, move sideways, or is going to push out to the top side. And today, what did price do? It moved sideways, so it's looking good, right? And we know that we're trading low, lower high, low, lower high, lower low. So we're trading between this 30-minute high over here and these 30-minute lows over here. Alright, so that's pretty much it for today, guys. Any other questions, let me know. Good evening, bro. Doing good. What about you? I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. I'm doing good. It's been a little bit of a slow week. I can't lie. Yesterday was the only really, we took these US oil trades yesterday. Let's go through the pairs one by one. I know you haven't been here in a few weeks, but just a little catch up, right? So AU, we've just been pretty much looking for this pullback to cover this gap. We haven't gotten it yet, so wasn't really looking at any trades on AU. EA, I don't really trade EA like that. ECAD, I don't really trade ECAD like that, but we took a trade last week, right? We're looking for the pullback to fill these gaps up at the bottom. EURUSD has just been moving counter for the last couple weeks, so I haven't really taken a trade on EU. GA, same thing as the other pairs. We have this gap down here at the bottom, so before I can look for a trade, I need to see that gap be filled. GCAD, we're in peak high. So I'm not trading GCAD, GJ, we're in peak high. GU, we're still moving counter trends similar to EU. We're looking for that change of character break of structure before we could take a trade. US30 last week also took a very beautiful trade, right, for a little continuation. But again, for tomorrow, not looking for anything on US30. We're in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. USDCAD, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation without a break of structure. USD ZAR in the higher time frame, we're making lower lows and lower highs, right? And right now we're making in the 30-minute time frame higher highs and higher lows. But again, it's just following the structure of lower low, lower high, lower low. I don't want to get trapped into a buy position where we're making lower highs. So I haven't been looking for any trades on USD ZAR. Gold, again, peak high territory. Only trades I've taken on gold was one last week on Tuesday, I believe it was. Or no, this was this week. Sorry. I'm a little faded. Tuesday this week, right, which was a beautiful engulfing candle retest to continue and a 4-day variation to the top side. It was a beautiful trade for this week as well. Nothing on Bitcoin just yet. And then oil was that trade from yesterday. So hasn't been too bad of a week. It's been a pretty good week, but I wish I could take more trades, man. I wish we would have actual continuations instead of just that one push and then price goes right back down to the bottom, or vice versa, right? That one push to the bottom and goes right back up to the top. So just kind of just pretty much just waiting for price to just give us some type of movements, man. We got to finish this year already. We got to get out of these elections, this manipulation of a market that we have because of the elections in the United States. And again, it's not even in the United States this entire year. There's been a few countries that have elections this year. I think Mexico was the last one that had their elections. If I'm not mistaken, I think like two months ago. That moved the market like crazy too. So there's so much going on, right? The things going on worldwide with everything that we can't really talk about here on YouTube either, that manipulates the price for gold specifically and oil specifically as well. So once we finish this year, we start next year again, is going to be a whole different ball game. We got to put our A game face on. So yeah, just being patient once again. That's been the theme for this year, right? The theme for this year really has been just be patient, wait for your setup, don't force any trades. As soon as you see your setup being present, you start taking those trades, and beautiful, right? Straight into profit. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. We'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading sessions. Any questions before I leave, let me know. Again, this is the last and final isolation session for the week. We'll be back again tomorrow morning for the live trading session. We'll be back on Sunday morning for the weekly market breakdown. And then again, we'll be back on Monday morning for the live trading session and the isolation session at 7 p.m. Any questions, let me know. If not, we'll be done for the night and we'll be back tomorrow morning. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night. See you tomorrow.